We're a non-for-profit organization, a 501c3, the state of West Virginia. We give free rides to handicapped children up on the ATV trails on Hatfield and McCoy. It helps me email the sponsors. It helps me email our upcoming fundraisers, the communication and sponsors and ATV gear and and the parents. Because a lot of time parents don't put their phone numbers down, they'll send me their emails, and I can access my website and check my emails to see what kids want to ride, and what we have res care homes that everything's emails, so it helps me a lot.
I've got some people that came in and didn't know how to turn one on, and they started with the computer basics class, and they really enjoyed the BBC learning, and they've started with that and worked their way up, and now they do email. They go home and they email their family. They're emailing e-cards and stuff during the holidays, things like that they never thought was possible.
The biggest effect I think that this lab has had on the community is first just bringing people together. We have a couple of gentlemen that come in here religiously on Tuesday nights, and they spend the first couple of hours sitting together going through on the computer. And once I showed them how to get started on the computer, they didn't want to do any of the formal classes. They wanted to come in and just show me what to do. I'll do it, and then if I have a question, I'll let you know. I was like, okay, well, we can do that too. And so they come in every Tuesday night and they sit with each other side by side, and they look up their political things with everything that's going on, or they'll look up who all was arrested this week, or they'll look up things to do with history of the area, and they get their discussion going. And then the last 2 hours of lab is always, let's sit and discuss what we learned about the community or what's going on in politics and things like that. The kids that come in here on Tuesday nights, they learn about the history of their community from the people who lived it that way. And I think that is the biggest deal to me, because the older generation get to see what the kids are learning and what they're doing these days, because they come in and work on their school projects and homework and stuff like that. And the kids get to learn from the older generation what it was like when they were growing up. So it's a meeting of the generations in here on Tuesday night, and it's awesome.
Mr. Haight was one of my patrons who come in with no computer knowledge whatsoever. I mean, nothing. Didn't know how to turn one on. His first question to me was, how do you turn this puppy on? I have to mention, Mr. Haight was 81 years old. Well, he came in and he took the basic computer skills classes, and he took them sometimes several times if he didn't understand. He had me take a picture of the keyboard for him, and so he could sit down and study that. And I think he come about 2 months. At the end of his 2 months, he had bought his own laptop, knew how to Skype, would Skype with his granddaughter, which just blew him away.
Got a couple of the older people, they'll come in every week. They were here like 8 weeks in a row, learning how to do email and Facebook and keep in contact with their grandkids. One lady actually came here, set up Facebook, and contacted her grandkids, and now she's able to talk to them every week. She's really happy about it, because now she goes home, she gets on Facebook about every night. She can keep in contact with them and how their school's going and everything.
The kids have the ability to come in and do the research for their schoolwork and their projects, and they, especially around the time of the annual social studies fair, we get kids in here left and right, because most of them don't have access themselves to do it. We have a local community library. It's open 4 days a week. It closes at 4:30. It's open one night until like 6 or 7, and then it's closed on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the times that the kids have where they need to be able to go somewhere to do their research and studies and everything, the library is not available to them. So if it weren't for this computer lab, they would have nowhere to be able to go without traveling, like to Fayetteville or something. You're talking, an hour down the road. It's been, we open the lab for the kids, especially during social studies fair, to come in and not just do their research, but they utilize our tables and the printers and the tape and we just kind of help them get their stuff together. And this is like ground zero for projects come the social studies fair. And they just really wouldn't have the ability to do it without it.
We're very pleased. We have such good support in this community.
It's gotten up there.
I'm just very pleased, and I think they're very glad to have the lab, to have it available. So as long as we keep it visible, I think people will come.
To be able to communicate with them and then making sure that everything is organized for a ride, I would be lost without the lab, because I communicate not only with my family from West Virginia to New York, I communicate with other children coming in from the other states. We've got a little boy that's 6 who has cancer, and his grandparents want to ride the Hatfield-McCoy trails, and they're coming down next month to ride the trails, and to be able to communicate back and forth with them with lodging and directions is really key for our foundation.
I would love to see it continue. I love being here. I love the kids. I love the guys. I love the firefighters that come in and do their training on the computers. And I'll miss it. And the community will miss us, I think.